I want to start this video to explain why these books have been taken out. This is the King James Version. Just to give you some timeline, the King James was rewritten into English. The Red Man King James himself of England has rewritten the Torah and all the rest of the word of the promised people of Israel, and they created 66 books from our word. Now, we got more books than that, just to let you know, because I want to explain to you how many books we actually have and to tell you that they're missing, because I don't know if you knew that books were missing from the Bible. Unfortunately, I have a few of them, but it explains right here in Genesis, the first book of Moses, and Enoch walked with God, and it says that Enoch walked with God and he was not, and God took him. So Enoch walked with God for a minute, and Enoch wrote a whole book. I mean, you wouldn't know that. This is Jude further in the New Testament. It says, and Enoch also the seventh from Adam prophesied these things, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. Now Enoch wrote a book and he prophesied these things. I have the book and it tells you all about what Enoch wrote. It tells you everything about it. So God, he reminds you to read these missing books, because he knew that the Red Man would take these out. So you think the Red Man gave you this book in 1611, but you were a slave in the 1600s, and if you could read even this word and or the, you will be murdered. So it's a contradiction of them giving you this book. Also, there are books within the book telling you within the King James to read. This is First Kings, and it says, isn't it written in the book of the Acts of Solomon, the third king of Israel, David's son? Have you ever read that book? Has your church or your fucking a Kingdom Hall or your Catholic priest or whoever it is told you about these books? Have they translated these books into there? No, they haven't. It's 66 missing books, 77 missing books. This is only 66 of the books that's missing. Just to give you more examples of the missing scripture and why they take it out and why I have missing books. Once again, I'm in Samuel. This is chapter 1 in First Samuel. Well, actually, this is chapter 10. I'll get down to it. But it says the kingdom is wrote in the books. And Samuel, he wrote these in the book. So you'll understand when I go to First Samuel what it will say. So this is, fuck, it's taking me so long to get there because it's just so many pages. This is First Samuel, chapter 1, verse 18. Isn't it written in the book of Jasher? Now, you'll travel through these 66 books and you won't find it. Hey, is that the only time that is mentioned? No, that is not the only time the book of Jasher is mentioned within the King James. So if you read the King James, then you should read the book of Jasher right here in Joshua, chapter 10, verse 13. Isn't it written in the book of Jasher? So that's the reason why I have the book of Jasher. The book of Jasher covers the events of Joshua when it tells you to go read it, when the Lord Most High kept the sun and the moon in the sky for a whole day until we kill all the Amorites. But it covers from Genesis all the way up to Egypt, the bondage of Egypt with Moses. It tells you who is who. You say it's missing, so you would not know these things. Not just that, it's 77 missing books in here. This is only 66. Here's another book, another two books is telling you in Chronicles, the last chapter, verse 29. The book of Nathan the prophet. Have you read that? Or the book of Gad the seer. Have you read these books? Isn't it written in the book? This is Chronicles, second Chronicles, chapter 25, verse 27. Isn't it written in the book of the Kings? I'm saying these books that you don't have, I'm saying they have been translated. More books. Now this is Esther. Isn't it written in the Chronicles before the Kings? Isn't it written in the records of the Chronicles? I'm saying it's several missing books. This is the book I'm really looking for. The books I'm really looking for, because it explains a lot. It says, isn't it written? This is Second Kings again. Isn't it written in the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? Have you read that book? Have your preacher or your priest or who the fuck you calling the people, you men of renown that you respect, the false prophet, have they mentioned this? Isn't it written in the Chronicles of the King of Israel? The kings of Israel. So you got kings of Judah and kings of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Here's another one. Isn't it written in the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? This is in Second Kings again. There's many books that you haven't read. So I just did the research and put them all in there. It's 77 missing books, such as the book of Jubilees that's not in here. You know what I'm saying? Or the book of Thomas. I'm saying this is the Apocrypha, the books in the Apocrypha right here. The Apocrypha consists of all these books right here. First Maccabees, Second Maccabees, the First and Second Ezra. These are books that they're not in here, and it explains your bondage. Because like I said, this is the New Testament. Remember, this is Matthew. Matthew starts when you are in bondage with the Romans. Romans are in Jerusalem. But the Old Testament, which is right here, the last book of Malachi, is when you in Persian bondage with the king of Xerxes and King Xerxes. But you got to remember, it didn't go from Persia to Roman. The Persians fought the Greeks, and the Greeks lost to the Romans. You got to understand. So where's your Greek bondage? It talks about that in the Apocrypha and all these missing books right here. All these orange ones. It talks about your missing when the Israelites was divided. So I want to understand what you understand the way I got this set up. So people are looking for Israel right here. This right here is when Israel split. The 10 tribes, the 12 tribes that Israel has split, the 10 tribes are lost. And it says it right here. And so Israel rebelled against the house of David until this day. There was no one found in the house of David, but the house of Judah only that followed the house was Judah. The Most High already told them they're going to take even 10 tribes from Israel right there. It said it's all in here. This is First Kings. So it's explaining to you why you do not know who the 10 tribes are. So someone come up and say you're a Gadite or you're a Benjaminite. They're false prophets. And all this is right here. You won't even hear about the Israelites. This is all Jews, Judah, the kids of Judah. You know what I'm saying? Israelites are in bondage because of their war. They went into bondage. They don't know who they are. They said they're going to be Greek. They worship wood and stone, graven image, right in Dan. So you got to understand these false prophets today are telling you this, and you won't know this without these books. That's why the Most High God, or whatever you call him, Jehovah, or whatever the fuck you call him. Remember, the Most High gave everybody languages. He changed everyone's language down here. So of course, everyone's going to have many names for God, but it's only one God. There's only one way to worship God. This is Exodus right here, chapter 20. It's telling you about how to worship God. And that's just the 10 steps is the order. But Leviticus has many, many, many things you can do, the law. But you got to understand, if you don't know about the lost books, then how are you going to understand the true knowledge? Genesis starts when Abraham was 40 years old. 39, 40 years old. That's how you know Abraham. You don't know Abraham from Jasher. You don't know Abraham when he was 1 or 2. So you really don't have complete knowledge. Your church don't have complete knowledge. You can ask your church, well, what about the book of Nathan? What about the book of Thomas? And what would they tell you? Like I said, their whole little so-called curriculum or whatever they call it, the way they worship is false. They are religions. It's not your religion. It's who you are through the blood. The tribes of Israel. If it's you, those tribes or not. It's this simple. Noah had 3 sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. We are Shemites. Either you're a Shemite, a Hamite, or Japhite. Everyone cannot be Jews. You got to be who your father is. This man is the father. Abraham is the father, Ishmael and Isaac, and the rest of his kids from Keturah. He's the father of those. That's his seed. This person right here, this Arkanite, this Sinanite, these fucking Canaanites, the Egyptians right here. You could tell that it says right in the Bible who Egyptian is. It says Mazraim and all of them. All these, who the Cushites, the Ethiopians, who the Africans are, all these people. They are not us. At this time right here, you see, I don't see Esau, Genesis 25. This is Genesis 25. You gotta understand, Genesis 25 is right here. Esau and Jacob. The first came out red all over as a hairy garment, red. All these people right here are not red people. You're not going to see a German flesh or Italian flesh or Mexican flesh or Russian flesh or American flesh or a Scottish flesh. You're not going to see that. That's red flesh. All these people are dark skinned like me, like this skin right here, dark brown skin, darker and lighter than this, but you're not going to see red flesh. You gotta understand, all these people are on the earth now. The Israelites, the 10 tribes, when I went to it, they are consumed in hair. They said they're going to be these people. They said they're going to be Greek. You do not know who the 10 tribes of Israel is. I just went to you in Kings 10. I showed you when Israel split. That's when the tribes split. So it's not 12 tribes of Israel. So like I said, people claim to be Jews. You have to be from Judah to be a Jew. People don't understand what Judah is. Listen, these are the kids. These are the kids of Israel. You got Reuben, the firstborn that you see, Simeon, Levi, and that right there. And I praise the Lord before they call his name Judah. All right. That is Judah, a Benjaminite. See, so people understand Moses was a Levite. All right. Aaron, Miriam, they were Levites, the priesthood. So you see somebody on the street preaching, he got to be a Levite, right? Because that's who the preacher is. Those are preachers of this earth that's from Israel. See, Reuben is not a Levite. Judah is not a Levite, all right? The first king of Israel came from Benjamin. Saul, after Sarah died from giving childbirth, it was Saul. He was a Benjaminite. You got to understand, David was Judah, from the loins of Judah. Solomon is from David. They are Judah. It's not a religion. It's who you are by the blood. Everybody can't be a Jew. Only these people can be Jews. That's what you're not understanding. So you got red flesh people telling you they Jews, those who say they are Jew or not, which was is then Apocrypha. You got to understand. You can't say you going to church. That's a building. You got people preaching, your preacher, your pastor. He not teaching. He a false prophet. Number one, he can't get off this first page. This is the very first page. And it explains the earth. And he can't tell you shit of this earth. You can't go to the second page if you call him the sun a star. Because the Lord just said that he created the sun, the moon, and the stars as well. Excuse me. You see, I got all the green and earth. You see all this earth before the sun, moon, and the stars? That's what you're not getting. And your church don't get it. Your pastor don't get it. Your mother, your father don't get it. Your teachers, your friends. This fucking world is nothing but manifesting fucking abominations. Everything they say is false. Graven images. I got with graven images all the way down. Like, I mean, you gotta understand, you gotta pick up your Bible and stop listening to these people and just do it yourself. These are the kids, like I just had. I got this chart right here explaining who the Ham, Shem, and Japhites are. And this explains who they are. Japhite, these are the kids. These are the kids of Ham. If you born from the nut sack of a man that's Ham, you can never be Japheth. So I'm saying this Muslims is a religion. They are Ishmaelites. You gotta understand who they are. I don't got the Quran with me right now, but I will pull the Quran out and show you. It says, "Oh, Israel." And who the fuck is Israel? We just went to Israel. Who is Israel? Jacob. And who is the Israelites? His 12 sons. Once again, his 12 sons, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, all the way down. Dan is no longer a part of it. I told you, they worship wood and stone. All these people. You cannot find a Danite today. You cannot find a Reubenite today or a Simeonite today. You cannot find them today. Only people you know is Judah. Judah's on the four corners of the earth. That's how you know what Judah is. Now I want to explain that. You know Judah's on the four corners of the earth, exactly what they're going to say. But in I'm here in Jasher, just so you can see this once again. In chapter 10, and this is the book of Jasher, it explains after the tower, it says, "And the Lord scattered the sons of men according to their sins from the tower on the four corners of the earth." All right. All these people here, these dark-skinned people, went to the four corners of the earth. Judah, we're in Americas right now. This is the four corners of the earth. It's a land that our fathers knew not. Ham, Shem, Noah wasn't there. We're in Babylon, in like the desert and shit, in Ur, in the land of Chaldeans. So when you see pyramids in Egypt, these Hamites, you realize that these people went to the four corners of the earth. So when you come to Americas, you see fucking pyramids. They call them Mayans or whatever the fuck. These are Hamites. They spread. That's why you need this book, because nowhere on earth you will see that these people went from the four corners of the earth from that tower, because King James and all the rest of the false prophets did not include it. Remember, they're not Levites. They rewrote this word. No red man king of England wrote this word. They translated this word in all these books, but they said, let's not put this book in. Let's not put the book of Enoch in. It explains the spiritual side. It explains demons and what possesses man to do the dumb shit he do before he does it. It explains the end times. It explains what's in heaven, earth, and under the sea, and in the bottomless pit. So they don't want you to know that shit. They want you to think that God is a great, not he won't destroy you because you his Judite, because you are Judah. He won't destroy you because you're a Jew. He destroys sin regardless of what it manifests in. They don't want you to know the book of Jasher. They don't want you to know the life of Abraham or the life of Noah and his seed. So you can see what the wars of Ham between Ham. They don't want you to know about Sodom and Gomorrah. So you'll think that when you hear Sodom and Gomorrah, you think about homosexuality. When these people didn't commit none of that shit. They don't want you to know why. That's why this book is not in there. But they forget that the Most High is so righteous and true and so everlasting, and knowing that He's going to remind you, isn't it in the book of Jasher, for you to seek the knowledge. Because if you don't seek it, you can't tell me shit. You can't tell me nothing of Genesis if you don't know this. You can't. It's just impossible. You don't know who's who to tell me who you are. You don't know the sun from the moon, because they've been worshiping stars ever since the ark. Ever since the ark came out, they was worshiping stars before and after. And you don't know the difference. The book of Jubilees tells you the time. They don't want you to know that their calendar is a lie. That their years don't got 365 days in it. And their months don't got more than 30 days. Hebrew and Israel months got 30 days in it. We go according to Jubilee years. Something you probably never heard. What is a Jubilee year? You don't even know. So it's the point. So how do you know what today is? To really go according to the commandments and his feasts and his Sabbaths. So no matter what you believe, they took in this information from you. They claim to be you. You don't get it because you don't read. You really truly believe that a red man wrote this book to give you, to keep you a slave. This book tells you that the red man is your enemy. This book tells you not to do none of the shit that you do on this earth. What makes you a slave? Because you work and you do all this dumb shit because you got two masters. You only can serve two masters, the Most High God. This don't never say serve man. This don't never say go against man and go against the Lord and do what man say. This don't say man in space. This don't say the red man got any problems. You don't know your colors. This is white. This is red. You don't know your colors. So like I said, you reject the law. You reject it. I go right here really quick before I go because like I said, people need to see this because people think everyone is one. People think that I just told you who the children of Israel are. I just told you. Deuteronomy 7:6 right here. Deuteronomy 7:6. This is Deuteronomy. If you don't believe me, I know this shit like the back of my hand. For art the Lord, the holiest people, right here. It says, for the Lord has chosen thee to be a special people, excuse me, among himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And he is talking about the 10 tribes of Israel. He has chosen us to be more special than all of these fucking people right here. That you're not getting. It's not who are the people. These fucking people. We more special than anybody in the Japhites, the Hamite, and before Abraham, the Shemites, before Abraham. Because these people, the line goes like this through here, not through here. These people look just like you. They Shemites, but they not you. That's why you're confused. You're going to get it. A people above the earth. So Abraham, like I said, if you don't know this, Abraham had 2 sons. First off, the firstborn, Ishmael, where you get the Muslims and Ishmaelites from. That's his seed, but they not promised like his next born, which was in his waxed old age with his waxed old wife, Sarah. And they had Isaac. And Isaac had a twin, Esau and Jacob. I keep telling you about the red flesh. So you don't get. Edomites are not from Jacob. They're not the most promised people on the earth. Ishmaelites are not from Jacob. They're not the most promised people on earth. So there is a special people above the earth, but you can't be special if you don't know it's you. You see all these people pretend to be special, but it's not them. You got to understand, they trying to be you and you don't want to be yourself, so you're trying to be them because you won't read this book because they have convinced you not to read this book. You think it's your choice. Oh, I don't want to read it because how can it be possible? And you never read one page and you call going to church and listening to a man or a woman priest. Oh my God. It tells you not to have women preaching. It tells you not to go to a church because the tabernacle. It tells you the first thing, read in Matthew. I mean, the first thing, how you know it's the end times. People say it's not the end time. How you know? Let no man deceive you. It's the very first thing he say. Like, let no man deceive you. And they deceiving you, calling themselves Jews, telling you black. There's no, I never even seen a man. There's a black flesh in here. Solomon said he was feeling black, like he emotionally black in torment. It's not his flesh was black. Solomon was a Jew. David, just like him. They mentioned flesh being different colors with leprosy, but when it comes to flesh, Noah flesh was as white like the angels. And then Esau's flesh was red like a hairy garment. So it's no need to try to find out what color Jesus was. Why would I have to tell you what color Jesus was if you know he was a Jew? That's how stupid people is. I'm tired of seeing posts on Facebook. People don't know shit but want to comment about the Most High God of Israel.